record. Okay, my friends, welcome, welcome. Make sure my audio is up. All right. Happy Friday. I love this inquiry time gathering together. And if you're on my email list, very likely that you are if you're even here, but if you're on my email list, you'll know that I usually do this at first Friday, and I think it's the first Friday until next summer, like 2025. But this time it's the second Friday. So, um, yeah, there were some people hanging out last week. Surprise, I was out of internet, out of everything, do the work. I should have remembered to change the date. Is it true? Here we are now. So good. So, all right, my friends. Beginning with a quote from Katie, and this is from Loving What Is. Every concept that has ever existed is inside you. It's not personal. After all these thousands of years, the thoughts are still in each of us, waiting to be met with some friendship and a little understanding, finally, rather than with pills and running and hiding and arguing and sexing because we don't know what else to do with them. When the thoughts arise, just meet them with some integrity. He owes me. Is it true? Can you absolutely know that it's true? How do you react? What happens when you believe that thought? Ask yourself. And who would you be without the thought? Until you love unconditionally, your work's not done. Close your eyes and look at your story. Close your eyes and look at your story. So I love that's what we get to do in this time. Who knows what will happen? So, first step is to allow yourself to see what's been uncomfortable. No one ever has to share this. You don't have to come off video on video. This is just for you, for your own process, and wonderful when you do want to share. Just allow yourself to see what brings discomfort. What do you oppose? What do you have those same kind of experiences where you don't want to meet whatever is happening with understanding or friendship? You'd rather take a pill or run or hide or argue with it or do something to distract yourself away. Just noticing the feelings that come up. I mean, just notice, what looks like, oh, this is threatening. I don't like this. I don't like this. And there might be a lot of images, maybe many situations. Let's see if one just rises up to the top. Larry.
Oh, well, well. Friday the 13th. Um,
Right. Friday the 13th. That's right. I thought of that earlier.
this is so much a broken record with me, and I'm so worried about my wife's health. And
Yeah.
I read your email just a little bit ago, and I I just got to fix this. And your turnaround, what was it about? The problem has to fix me. I get that. I mean, the problem is there for me uh to deal with something, but I so want to fix this. She was diagnosed, those who don't know, with a serious, what I think is a serious illness. She's doing well now, doesn't have the energy she used to have, can't do everything she used to do, terrifies me. I'm worried a lot,
Mm-hmm.
and I want to be done with this. I
Oh,
don't want to worry anymore.
yeah. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
want her to be well. I don't want to worry. I should have handled this already. I've been working on this for at least a year.
Yeah.
And I should be past it. It's ridiculous. I'm even a little bit embarrassed to be talking about it.
Oh, well,
Like, what the hell? Come on, get off it already, you know?
yeah.
So those are my thoughts.
I love that you share that. Like, first, there's something that looks like a problem and it still looks like a problem, and I'm carrying it around with me. And then I also add on top of it that it shouldn't look like a problem anymore. Should be over this by now. I should be over it. The mind shouldn't be showing me this thing. This kind of just piles it on. Yeah. All right. Worry. Good one. Anxiety, worry, stress, fear. Thank you for sharing that. I love that it's totally okay to have something look like the headline of the problem. There's the movie playing, and yeah, kind of can't help it. I go into that theater because it looks like if I go in there, I might see something that I maybe missed before, Maybe I can look around and kind of find something or do something to help it slow down or stop, or I don't know. It just looks to me like that the mind looks like, oh, is this a problem? Well, let me get in here and see if I can solve something about this problem. Yeah. So it's just like, wow, I just can't, what is that math formula? They take those math formulas and they're working on for several generations. It's the same formula. Got to get the answer. So, a little compassion for the repetitiveness of the mind. That it just kind of some of the same things over and over look very threatening, and we just want them so badly not to look threatening. What else? Who else has something that you just notice is appeared and looks like a problem? Looks like I don't like it. I want this to change. It should not be happening. Patty.
Well, sometimes when a person tells me, like if I'm talking to them and then all of a sudden it feels like they're forcing their opinion on me, I don't know how to handle it. It
Uh,
feels like they're attacking me or forcing me, and my brain goes into this terrible thinking and believing. How dare you?
mm,
You
yeah.
know, why can't you be more neutral? Why can't you stop forcing your opinions? Um, this is inappropriate. Uh, I feel attacked. Sometimes I feel like I'm punched in the gut.
Well,
And
yeah.
so it's all because it feels like it it isn't a straight on attack. It feels like they're having the opportunity, using an opportunity to force an opinion on me.
Okay.
So
Okay. Good one. I like just all the simple things that you said. They're just so clear and simple. And you could even just, they're forcing their opinion on me. Boom. Yeah. You know the feeling and the situation, and that, I sometimes love seeing, it'll really look like it's that one person. There they always do it, but oh, it's also happened over here. Like it hasn't only been once or with one person. I sometimes have liked noticing that. It's like, huh, okay, whenever this energy or this thing comes up, or these little behaviors with a human being, these ways of communicating, I think this is happening. And that's okay. That's great. Yeah, okay. Thank you. And Larry, let me go back to you too. What would you say is your headline, your one-liner?
I'm terrified that my wife will never be fully recovered.
Okay. Yeah. That is a good one for so many things. Like that'll never be the same again. That'll never be the way it was. And the way it was is I liked it. I liked it better the way it was than the way it is now.
That's even closer. My life will never be the same.
Yes.
Keep
Yeah.
comparing the way life was to the way it is now
Yes.
in
Yeah.
my mind.
Yeah.
And yes, that's even better. Life will never then is better than now.
Yeah. And this comes up with the body all the time. And I mean, I bet you, does everyone relate to that one with the body? My body will never be the same. Yeah. This body is not as good as the previous body. And sometimes there's something that happens and it looks like I want my old body the way it was. Yeah, because what's happening. Yeah. Okay. Anyone else want to share just like your concept, a one-liner? Mary.
Okay. Um, so it's like a fuzzy concept, but um that I'm so my husband loves me and like I call it love bombing me, telling me how much he loves me, adores me, and I have a feeling that if he were healthier, I would likely feel more similar to him in that
Mm-hmm.
reciprocating. But
Mm-hmm.
in the same breath, it's not like, well, take better care of yourself and I'll love you, because I don't know, because I haven't seen him take better care of himself. And I don't actually want his taking better care of himself to have anything to do with me verbalizing and feeling a deeper adoration to him.
Uh-huh.
So I end up not saying anything. And so I feel like I'm withholding, but I'm also withholding because there's some truth to I don't want to be part of it. I just want him to do it. So there's my big fuzzy concept. It's about
Yeah.
speaking up, not speaking up,
Yeah.
and loving and needing to respond.
Yeah. It's kind of, yeah,
And
yours is a good example of, well, many are of how like there's a couple concepts in there and you can just
yeah,
say, like, just notice them the way others have shared too. Like I just write them down and they look a little bit different. He should take care of himself. Just noticing it's got something to do with, then there's this moment when he's saying, I love you so much, or whatever, however he does it. And
yeah,
something feels resistant in there inside of you.
yes,
Um, with around what love is and how you respond and just noticing this thing that you're aware of. He should take care of himself. And you're not even sure if he did, the love would be present. Yeah.
right.
So it's just good to see, so you can have the one, he should take care of himself. So simple. And then
Start
also,
there.
you know, yes, just start there. Start there. It's good. Yes. And there may be more with, more interesting things happening with what's supposed to happen when somebody called a husband is saying, I love you so much. Yeah. All that you think is going on in that moment. What I,
Okay, perfect.
yes. Yeah. Yeah. What does that mean? It's great. Yeah. Thanks for sharing that. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, thank you. I'll get a big glove. There's a lot to hold. So,
Yeah. 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 That's a
okay.
huge one of just the words I love you that we say, we human beings will say. That's kind of like, well, what do they mean by that? Am I supposed to say something back? Um, and just everything that goes on in our minds around that kind of exchange. So interesting. And if I've been seeing somebody that I think they should take care of themselves, yeah, how does that fit into it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
sideshow.
Yes. 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 Thank you. Thanks for sharing.
Thank you.
Yeah. Sharon.
So what's coming up for me today, including job hunting, but career transition should not be this hard.
Ah,
I left my teaching job 6 years ago, and I still have not landed somewhere comparable.
mm,
It's on my mind.
okay. Very good. Nice, nice. Just looking at the whole story of career transition. Boom. And it's hard. It's hard. Yes. You know the parts that are hard. You've got your own, and the length of time included. Shouldn't be that long. Yeah. All right. Good one. Will, hello.
Hi, Grace. Thank you for hosting and creating this environment. And it's been great to hear everybody else sharing as well. Um,
I know there's something great about hearing other people say these thoughts that are like, oh,
yeah. And thank you to Cindy for sharing with me the that this would be hosted. My my answer to this question, try to keep it as concise as possible, is transitions are challenging.
ah, yes.
Um, I've been working towards just going towards that. And transitions are not bad. They're not good. They're not bad. They're just challenging. They are what they are. And I speak in from personal experience of I'm about to start my fifth job in the last couple of years. So I've got a lot of career transitions. And it's going to be a great one. And I've got a baby on the way and a 3-year-old. So I've got transitions all over the place. And
Ah, yeah.
just, embracing that and understanding that some of the things I used to really enjoy doing physically, I don't anymore. I feel very different doing them. And that makes me uncomfortable.
Mm,
And understanding why is a good exercise for me. Questioning that, doing inquiry, and working through that. And
yes.
I
Wonderful.
will add on to your comments, Larry, that it doesn't come right away. I've experienced it I can't just turn it around. I have to process things and work with it. So
Yes, yes. Yeah, really good. Okay, that's fantastic. So, the spots. They're in right in your brain. You probably can picture them perfectly, of what you're talking about, your experience, your moments, these challenging moments, what you can't do or what you can or what it looks like you're about to need to do with a new job. And you just hold that as we go into this inquiry, to look and just watch everything that's happening in the brain, in the mind. Yeah. Thank you. Glad you're here.
thanks.
Okay. So, everyone, you can just, whatever it is that you're noticing, it's possible to hold one concept, kind of just really sit with it, even if it's a different concept than other people are holding in the group mind, so full, lots of different thoughts. Sometimes it's helpful to write your thought down, your concept, so it's right in front of you, because it's very funny as you listen and the mind moves around like a butterfly, going all over the place. I have It's not that uncommon for somebody to say, "What is my thought that I'm working on again?" Wait, what are we doing? So it's good to have your thought. I'm looking at this concept that kind of kicks off stress. Stress is my doorway in. I'm stressed about this. And it can be useful if you've noticed something quite repetitive is to narrow it down and just see those images of those memories, those experiences I've had. Maybe you kind of hold them up in front of you like you're looking at art in an art gallery. There's this picture and they're moving, the moving moments. There was that moment and this moment and this moment. Not too many. it can get kind of just full and large. But we're just holding that moment. And sometimes helpful to even have one anchor moment that I'm coming back and I'm going to test it around that memory, that moment, that situation. So I see very specifically, even though I've had that kind of moment and thought in other situations that were entirely different. So we're just looking at an experience, a memory. Could be right now, just where I am right now. And we'll do it like this today. I'm going to ask the questions and you can just answer, come in and take yourself off mute and answer. And if two people begin to speak at once, that's okay. One person will stop and the other person will go, and then the other person can go. And just allow it to be a meditation. The mind is so amazing. It can hold these images and pictures, like whatever memory is, just, I don't know, thought, talking about experience, what happened before, what will happen next. So seeing these moments where it looked like a problem, looking at all these details of life. And see if your concept is true. And we're just noticing, we're not trying to make the mind go anywhere or have a better thought or have an outcome that's a good outcome. Is that thought true?
No.
How'd you find your no, Sharon? You're doing
Career transition. I,
yes.
I realized that the number of applications I've submitted is extremely low. That's a big factor there.
Ah, great. It's like, yeah, nice to notice. Yeah, it's almost like it comes back to I should have a job or I should be working. I should be doing something different than I'm doing. Just watching the mind come up with whatever this transition thing is going. But I like it, keeping it simple. It shouldn't be this hard. Is it true? It's not even hard. Wait. So if you've got a yes, can you absolutely know that this is the truth? Can you absolutely know it?
Grace, I changed my concept just a little bit. I changed it to life is worse than it was.
Great. Okay, good.
And
Yeah.
I said yes,
Okay.
but I can't absolutely know that because in some ways it's better.
Very interesting. Yeah, very interesting. Good to see, right? Anyone else get surprised? Like you just, I don't know, when you really just sit with it, that question, is it true? Can you absolutely know it?
Mine's a no.
Ah, how'd you find your no?
Well, I realize I'm equating my husband into just his mind and his thinking. And he's more than just the way he thinks. Like there's his body and his self. And he has made changes that have come to him because they've been forced upon him physically by his body failing. And he had to make adjustments. And it wasn't something that he thought on or practiced on or made a conscious decision of. So it was his self was taking care of himself. And so I think I'm stuck in the thinking part of what I think. And I think that he's his thinking. And that will be something for me to inquire on.
Well, yeah. Awesome. Very interesting. Okay, so just noticing your answer, and no wrong answer. It can be yes, it's true, and yes, it's absolutely true. But I love the pause of just seeing. Okay, now question 3. What happens? How do you react when you see it this way, when you're believing it, when this concept comes to life? How do you react? So just notice what the feeling is inside and what other thoughts appear.
The overwhelm.
Hmm.
The overriding.
You just cut out a little tiny bit, so say that again.
Can you hear me now? Am I okay now?
Yep, you are. Yeah.
I don't know why I cut out everything. Everything looks good on my. No, it's worse. That was better. No, it's worse. What I said was, and tell me if you can't make out what I'm saying. I'm the
Oh, shoot. Right when he starts.
reaction. I am always. Am I cutting out?
Yeah, it just paused, like right when you were about to, we heard you, and then right when you were about to tell us, it froze just for a second.
And the murderer is. I'm looking for confirmation that I'm.
That you're right. Yeah. Isn't that great to see? You just see all those images of the evidence. Almost like life is on trial, and I see exhibit number 1, exhibit number 2. This is true. This is true. This is true.
I compare myself to others. I keep seeing this lady I know who did it in 3 months.
Ah,
And I don't even think about what all the other factors are. I just focus in on that.
yes. Yeah. Very good to see. Comparison images. How do you treat other people and other things that you hear about in the world that are related to this? Those other relationships, those other people with jobs or transitions. What do you notice goes through your mind? You see all those different images. And how does it feel in the body? Just what do you notice? Patty.
Well, what I notice is that my heart immediately closes. I isolate, my energy goes all inside of me, and I become very quiet and stoic. But
Mm.
inside, I am just wailing on the person. You
Oh,
know, like there's no way to have a conversation here because there's only one side, which is his side. He doesn't even know what he's talking about. I mean, my brain just, you know,
yeah, it's like I, yeah.
yeah, but I just sit there
Yes.
quietly.
Yes.
And I feel like I get like I thought I was asking an innocent question. So it's like I quit talking about anything controversy, and now I can't talk about anything innocent. So there's this huge divide that's happening inside of me. It's like a chasm is opening up. It's extremely uncomfortable, and I'm blaming it all on him.
Wow.
not on myself.
Yeah. Wow. Well described. Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Great. Yeah. Good to see. Yeah, Will.
Sorry, taking myself off mute. So physically, so mine is my statement was transitions are challenging. And, when I experience that in my mind, all the previous experiences come up. And then I immediately feel it in my gut. I have recollections of feelings of being sick, similar to having COVID. I feel lots of pressure on myself and sleeplessness.
Oh, yeah. Such a good thing to notice is just like our it's like something in the mind just turns its attention to where have I seen this before? Oh my God, and it just kind of pulls it and you start, seeing those images of the past where some kind of something was challenging. There was a transition. It didn't.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
If I believe that the transitions ahead will be the same, then I will likely physically experience it the same.
Yes. Right. Good to see. Powerful. Yeah. I love just noticing. It's just noticing and kind of like reporting what happens. And just see too. I mean, maybe many of you can notice it's like sometimes thoughts come in about the response, the reaction. Oh, how do I treat myself when I'm believing this thought and I have a reaction? I shouldn't have this thought. What's wrong with me? No, 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 no. No, don't let anyone know. Never share this. This has got to change. Yeah, what's my identity? How do I treat myself? I become identified as the one, well, a victim of something, the one being hurt or left out or dissatisfied, disappointed. Okay.
Grace, can I add something?
Yes, please.
So, mine was around a person who I'm dealing with on our family farm, and I had yeses, very strong yeses. Yes, it's true.
Mm-hmm.
And so my reaction is to try to explain, try harder. Then I get really angry, and how it feels in my body is I start clenching, and then it's like this sense of heartbroken. I'm just heartbroken, and then I just like disappear. It's like I'm out of my body, life through saran wrap. I'm gone. So,
Mm,
anyway.
yeah, yeah. Something just pulls in. Yeah. Saran wrap. How good. Yep. Yeah. Good description. And just notice, I like how this can be a moment, a point where so quickly, a movement towards let's change the channel. Let me go over here and go eat some food or drink some wine or go smoke or do whatever I do that's a distraction or get to work on something, like sort of frantically have a project, um, read a book, kind of that sort of a panicked feeling of looking for something, looking for comfort or soothing or different, looking for different. Okay, so just coming back to that situation, just being right there, watching it, seeing it, something that you've experienced, something so amazing. The mind's ability to recall and look and store things or feel things in the body. So we're going to go to that moment, just looking at that person or that predicament. And now the question, who or what are you without this thought? What if you weren't able to think this thought? Who would you be without this story? If it helps, you can even notice as you hold that image in the mind, just being here right now. Who are you without the story right now? I kind of like, what are you? We're not, almost don't have to be a who. What's it like without the thought?
Well, what I thought, can you hear me okay?
Yeah, I can hear you great.
Okay. What I thought was I wrote down just all.
Right when he's going to say something great.
Say again?
It just it did the same thing. It just suddenly froze right when you're
Okay.
about, well, what I thought was,
Go out and come back in. I'll be
okay,
back.
all right. Who else wants to share? Just what's that like? Just as you wonder, who would he be? What would I be without the thought? We know the thoughts come and go. Patty.
It's really hard to think that he's not forcing
Mm-hmm.
his opinion on me, but the word forcing, even if it wasn't on me, I would still be reacting. He was just forcing his opinion on the world.
Uh-huh. Sure.
There's still a whole reaction inside of me. So um, there's, if I can't think of it as force,
Mm-hmm. And I like
for that behavior not to be force, I can think of who I would be if the force didn't bother me. I would just be like, if it was a 5-year-old acting like that, it wouldn't have the same effect on me because I don't think they can hurt me.
Yeah, good to see. So it's like,
So
yeah.
if I thought of them as a 5-year-old doing that, then I would just be watching someone who is upset, and
Yes.
it wouldn't have a feeling of me in any way getting hurt.
Lovely. Yeah.
So I would just see an upset person if I'm gonna,
Yes.
because he's doing the same exact thing.
Yes.
And I have to say, what if I don't believe this thought?
Yes.
I would have to believe that he has no force on me.
Yes.
And if I believe that, then he's just an upset person. I'm fine.
I do
My thinking and believing doesn't go anywhere. It's just sitting there all nice and calm.
Yeah.
So,
Like if you were watching a football game, there's a lot of force that happens in a football game, right? But you're just watching.
yeah, there would be no stress
Yeah.
inside of me.
The on me part is important, isn't it? They're forcing.
The forcing is important too, because if someone's saying their opinion, but I don't feel like they're forcing me to believe it or not, I'm okay with it. Even if it's loud, that's okay.
Yeah.
But if there's a force involved, even if it's not on me, I don't like it.
Sure.
Like I can remember one time walking out of a church because I thought the preacher was too forceful.
Mm,
It
uh-huh.
was scary.
Uh-huh.
Um,
So
so
yeah. So
it's
powerful
something
to notice.
about force that can get out of control. Like I didn't go to, when I was in the 60s, everybody's love and peace. I didn't go to concerts because people got crazy
Uh-huh.
and things could happen by accident. For people would get nuts and act forceful, even if it wasn't on me. So force is a huge thing.
So I think it's just, you
Because
got it though. It's like just seeing I'm not in denial about this energy that I'm labeling force. And I'm
yeah,
just sitting in this and I'm just looking at it and looking and
yes,
noticing, you know.
if the force is not fearful to me, then
Hmm,
or I no brain activity like a 5 year old. I know they could pick up a stick and throw it, but I I feel like they could not hurt me. So yeah, it's just like watching a person,
yeah.
doing what they do.
Mm-hmm.
So I would be calm, relaxed, interested even.
Yeah. Like, huh, curious. Wow.
Yeah, like, oh, let's look at that. Isn't that
Yeah.
interesting?
Yeah.
So that's what would happen to me if I didn't have the thought of forcing and arming.
Yes.
Both of those, I guess, but forcing is huge.
Yeah.
So thank you.
Yeah. Cindy.
Hello, everyone. Um, so my statement was, I don't trust a friend because she's judgmental and can be mean. So my reaction is I'm cautious around her, careful, guarded. I don't want to be lacerated. It kind of takes my breath away when she says something just off guard.
Mm-hmm.
Am I without the thought? Ooh, free, more open with her. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
not careful.
Ah.
I don't have that. Obviously, I'm being judgmental of her judgmentalness.
Uh-huh. Yes. Wow, good. Great to see. Yep.
Thanks for doing this, Grace.
Oh my gosh, you're so welcome. Thank you for doing it. It's good. All right. Robin.
Hi and good morning.
Good.
Um, I can't really get to who or what I would be if I didn't have the thought. My
Mm.
thought is my thought is my body has to be fixed. The surgeon has to fix me.
Oh,
And
yeah.
as soon as I think that, who or what I would be without the thought, it would be I would be in complete denial. Uh,
Sure. Right. And that's sort of, I sometimes think of it as like, yeah, that's right. We're not like pretending something isn't happening. That's happening when we're kind of swinging all the way over here. But yeah, so it's just not having the same, how'd you say it? My body needs to be fixed.
yes.
Um, yeah, sort of looking like something's underway. There's definitely a body. There's a surgeon, there's a surgery. This looks like the next right thing, the most, the right action. Yeah, I mean that in the sense of just upright, kind of not right or wrong. It just like the most commonsensical thing. And if I just take the just noticing all that response, it has to be fixed, and like all the fear. Just if I looked at it without fear, like as this is a happening that goes on in the world, right? A bazillion people have something like this occur, and bodies don't last. They are impermanent.
I think I'm pissed about that.
Ah, really good.
Yeah.
Which is just great to see. I don't like that, and so there might be a little more. I don't know. Just inquiry is one of the best. Like you know, decline, ailments, disease, death, change, and just to watch that, just like the mind going, ah. And don't worry, I can relate to that too. I think everyone probably can. Um, and so I like what if I was just a little tiny drop of accepting, even just right now in this moment. Just be in the space that you're in right now. There's a computer somewhere or device. You're sharing with people, and there's a room, an air. Something in you is accepting of this moment without thought. It's just being.
I don't think I am. I think I'm recognizing that's what it is I'm either in a state of terror and desperation and anger, or I'm in some version of an escape, eating, reading, YouTube, busyness, whatever.
Yeah.
I don't think I have acceptance. And somehow to me, acceptance makes it more true, or acceptance makes me ensures that this is what I'm going to experience and it won't be different. So acceptance actually feels like a trap to me.
Sure. Well, I think it's just seeing all that it that's such a great simple way to say it. It's like I'm either escaping or hating what is or wanting to escape from what is. I totally get it. And just seeing, I kind of like that the question is, who would you be, or what might it be like, or and then you kind of go like, that's denial. Um, and then seeing like, what if there was a way where it wasn't denial? I was just actually here, not pretending that the thing isn't happening. There's um have you ever had something that broke, like you broke a cup and you notice you like that cup? It was one of your favorite cups, but it's not, you're not terrified, or you can replace it, or you just have the feeling of, okay, or you've lost something that you used to have. There's probably things we all had that we just loved when we were 10 years old, and we have no idea where they are now. I had a teddy bear. It had eyes that opened and shut. No longer here. Could still remember it, but definitely gone. Um, just sort of bringing in just a little touch of, that this things come and go. Things come and go and come and go. And yes, we have all kinds of feelings about it. We're not asking to be numb to it. Maybe even who I'd be without the thought is just acceptance is sort of sounds like too much. Just seeing, wow, something in here is watching and seeing everything, seeing that there's fear and terror, or, a fighting feeling or an urge to get out of here. Just watching all that happen, and what's the thing that's watching? You know, what if there's moments when I'm not quite as terrified as I think? That probably is happening. That's probably happening.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's moments when I forget about it. It's moments when I go to sleep. Yeah, just in a way, just willing to relax, even with this underway. Just letting some space be here.
I think I'd be more active, and I'm not doing some of the things that would likely make this better. It's like I'm in a spiral of stuckness, either
Mm.
thinning out with emotion or escaping. and that takes so much energy that I don't have the energy to do things that would improve my life. But I also don't have the energy really to enjoy what I do have in life.
Ah, powerful thing to notice. Yeah. It's like, huh, I'm not laughing much. It's not that much fun to believe it. Even just noticing it's not that much fun to believe this thought. It'd be really like, and it's all right. Compassion. Just bring some compassion in. And anyone would be, well, I shouldn't say anyone. I have felt frightened about things happening in the body. I get it.
Yeah.
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 Just,
thank you. This
yeah.
helps tremendously. Thank you.
I'm glad. Yeah. Thank you for bringing that up. Chirin.
Yeah, thank you, Robin. Also, too, I've had some issues with a shoulder injury. That was super helpful for me. So thank you. For mine, so with the thought that career transition should not be this hard, I realize that I'm believing that it's hard. That's part of it, right? And like there's this image of me like with a ball and chain, and every little part of it is just like so difficult, like so monumental.
Yeah.
So that's like with the thought. And then, there's scariness in there. So lots of avoiding anything but, that. But then without the thought, there's still scary, but it's like a good scary, like an unknown, like a roller coaster, like that kind of like good anticipation.
Mm.
Without the thought, like with the thought, I'm like not remembering any of the good stuff of this whole journey. Without the thought, it's like, oh, wow, it was a good thing that didn't work out because then it, made me look for other things. And I love this grad program I'm in and all the people I've met and this professional organization. And I have new friends and like there's a conference coming up. It's going to be great. And like so many new possibilities, all these doors I didn't even know existed, like that's without the thought.
Yes.
So different.
Yeah. Very different. You love how your whole entire the feeling in the body changes. It's great. Whole entire demeanor and moment. This moment is different. Even if it's just a little bit, just relaxing without the thought. Just notice, what if I could relax, even though this thing is happening? Notice life is not saying you're never allowed to relax with this when this is underway. It's actually giving you a lot of moments when it's quiet, you could relax. Okay, let's turn the thought around. So if it fits, however you wrote it, just put only yourself in it. So like if there's another person or another thing, you put only yourself in it. And it's a little bit tricky sometimes if you're sort of newish, but we'd say like they're forcing their opinion on me. I'm forcing their opinion on me. I'm even forcing my opinion on me. But I'm doing some forcing of opinions here. And you just would hold that with such just an openness. I like the way Byron Katie says, a kiss and not a slap. Just gentle. So if it doesn't quite fit, like transitions are challenging, like that one. My thinking is challenging, especially when it comes to transitions. My thinking is challenging here. Mindy. Hang on.
Duh. Lower hand. Okay. So I said, I accept her because my first thought is I don't trust her because she's judgmental and can be mean.
Mm-hmm.
And I like that acceptance. That was a really I forget about acceptance. I accept her. I accept myself for being judgmental.
Mm.
I trust her honesty. I remember all the good of her. I trust myself, but somehow I trust myself to be cautious, actually,
Hmm. I
around her.
like, it's sweet to look at all the stuff in there and just kind of turn it around and see how the whole moment, like who would I be without the thought? All that stuff might be happening. And then I like with turnarounds, just take that one sentence only, that what comes after the because, always what comes after the because is the easiest place to go. So she's judgmental and mean. So the way we turn it around is I'm judgmental and mean. And just notice to myself, to her, in that situation, how could that be just as true? And could it be just my thinking is, if I didn't have my thinking involved here, would I be having a hard time? So is it my thinking? I like it. It's the thinking or the actual situation. Am I thinking about the situation or the actual situation that's the most disturbing?
It's my thinking about the situation.
Which is so great. Isn't that great to just be aware of? Because it's like, oh, yeah, the situation might be better than I'm thinking. It,
Maybe.
yeah, like I'm open to that. I mean,
I'm
how is it?
judgmental and mean, though. I really can connect with that.
Yeah,
Not happy about it, but that's
yeah,
that's it.
yeah. And where have I even been judgmental and mean to myself about somebody like her, like in the presence of somebody doing what they're doing? Have I been judgmental and mean to myself? And then also maybe to her. And you just try it on like with examples and just seeing with these different angles, kind of approaching it from a different angle.
Thanks, Grace.
Yeah, yeah. Larry.
I want to try this out. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
See how long this lasts.
Right.
All right, so frustrating. The biggest thing in this inquiry for me
Uh-huh.
was the realization that I'm always looking for confirmation that I'm right.
Oh, yeah.
I do not come to inquiry like, wow, open mind. Life is not worse than it was. Are you kidding me? It's so great. No, I
Yeah.
mean, so,
Yeah.
and when you said add because, so I did life is worse than it was because Carol can't do all that she used to do.
Mm-hmm.
I can't do all I used to do.
What? Yes. Right. Kind of can't deny it. And it's like the mind will go like, oh, I don't like that. That's terrible. That's bad news. It's horrible. And and we're just softening. We're just softening that with the inquiry. It's kind of like, what if that's the way of it and it's all right? It's nice every night, even when you were a kid and you went to bed. You know how that feels? You get in bed and you're like, oh, I'm so happy to be in bed. And you get to go to sleep. You're not doing what you used to be doing. You are completely shutting down, slowing down, going totally unconscious in a way. Sleep is amazing. And you were doing that every single day. You weren't doing what you used to do during the day. You were doing nothing. But that's okay. We don't have thoughts about it. In fact, we even have thoughts, I should be sleeping, you know. And but in this situation, you're like, I don't like the difference. But just imagine what if I didn't have, I'm still aware that life is temporary, the body is impermanent. But I don't know. More, I don't know. I don't know if it's bad because it looks like that's the way of it for everything.
Yeah, it's bad. I'm not with Robin. I just pissed off that that's true. The body deteriorates.
Yeah.
It's another inquiry.
Yes. It is such a deep inquiry. It's such a, isn't that it's like in the human condition, what we get most worried about? I don't know. It seems like, yeah, the temporariness of all of it. But yeah, what if it just looks like everything happens that way, like trees and everything alive has a life and death cycle. Everything. So what am I wanting? Never to die? And maybe there's something that isn't the body that isn't gonna die. The life force. Who knows? Will.
Okay, so you partially gave me an answer on transitions are challenging, but I challenged myself to expand.
Yes.
Um, and so I said my thinking about transitions is the only thing holding me back.
Hmm.
My my recycling or re-experiencing of the past is too heavy to continue.
Yes. Right. I kind of, whatever's happening sort of smells a little bit similar. And the mind is amazing. It just pulls in everything like, where have I seen this before? Boom, almost like in a nanosecond. And I just recycle. I like that word. I just bring it up. I'm comparing. They say sometimes we're just like ones and zeros, just going, what is this?
Yeah.
You know?
Mhm.
And so I'm just noticing that I'm doing that. And that's what the mind, it just gets in a whole kind of abstract, in a way, world. And that's okay. Here it is over here. And then there's the actual, there's more to reality than that, than only the mind's perceptions.
Yeah.
Just trusting this is going to be a new experience no matter what. It just can't be the way it's trying to predict. Great that it
Yeah.
wants to do that. Like you have your little prediction machine. That's okay. But it'll never be accurate.
Yeah, and my main thing is I've had some pretty traumatic things happen. So, PTSD has been what I've been told,
Yes.
and that's
Yes.
just holding on to those experiences. And if I don't, um, if I don't, then I'm free. I get to build on all those experiences. All those experiences become a strength.
Beautiful. Yes.
and and I also don't judge. My thoughts are free flowing. They come in and out, and there's no judgment on whether they're good or bad. They just
Yeah.
are. So
Yes. So natural for anything like a challenging thing to happen and then to remember it and kind of repeat it and um but I
yeah,
can even turn it around. Transitions are challenging, like in a bad way. Oh,
yeah,
transitions are challenging. Oh, sure. And yeah, they might not be, even the ones I've gone through didn't kill me because I'm here. If
yeah,
I can see that, I survived it.
yeah. And it's almost like if you're free and light in that approach on things, then you really, you've now built strength and empathy on your experiences
Yeah,
and
beautiful.
acceptance. So
Yes. Yeah.
so
That's
thank you for the session.
Yeah, you're
Appreciate
so
you.
welcome. Yeah, thanks for coming. All right, so I know we're just about done, and we could just turn it around to the opposite, turn it around to the self, switch places with the other if there was another involved. I'm doing it to them. Uh, Cindy's was an example of that one. Like I'm judgmental and mean to them, and then just she isn't. She isn't judgmental and mean. How interesting. And we're not denying that there's somebody saying whatever they're saying, or they have that tone, but what else could be going on there? You know, I mean, I always notice when somebody says judgmental, mean tones, they're frightened every time. I mean, they're having their thinking. They're having a bunch of thinking about it, based on the past. It's like, well, they're just like going, whoa, as I think about that, I'm reminded of da 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 da, and it's just instant. So minds react. That's what they do. Yeah. Beautiful. Um, Wonderful to connect with everyone. Anyone else have anything they want to share with just seeing turnarounds? Went a little fast on the turnarounds today, but that's all right. Just let them percolate in there.
I realized there's a lot of fantasy thinking
Hmm.
in there because a turnaround, as career transition shouldn't be so effortless. Of course, there's going to be effort. You got to do stuff. And
Right.
then modern job hunting and transition is way different than back in the day. Like, am I still holding on to these? Like, I mean, I have these beliefs like recruiter should just find me, right? Like
Uh,
that's like what's the percentage of that happen, right? So
yes.
yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So there's some, misalignment with reality in my thinking for sure.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
So,
then the I shouldn't be so hard holding on to these, right?
yeah.
More gentle with myself in the process. It takes as long as it takes.
Yes.
Oh, and then all the things I just mentioned, you have to network, like,
Yeah. All those things that are transitions
I
wherever
mean,
we're
not
at.
necessarily, but it would improve my chances if I did the things,
Maybe those transition things think
and
you're
then,
hard.
right? And why is it seeming so hard, right? What gifts am I blocking and all, So I got to look at my rigidity and like, yeah,
Yes.
there's
Yes.
way more to unpack in
Yeah.
this.
There are all those transition things or activities or whatever they are, and they're just being themselves, waiting for you to come on in. You're kind of being hard over there. We're trying to be easy.
Yeah. And the whole putting myself out there, I actually really enjoy performing, right? There's that thing. Like once I'm out there, I'm like, I love to interview. It's just getting there, right? Like, so
Yes.
thank
Yes.
you so much.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you, everybody. Beautiful work. Absolutely love it. See you next time, first Friday of October. It is the first Friday of October, too. All
Thank you
right.
so much, Grace.
Oh my gosh. You're so welcome. Great to be with you all. Just fabulous. Lots of love, everybody.